Guys, we are back. We're back with Thomas. Thomas, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you, Evan?
I'm doing really well. So we're going to talk a little bit. We're going to talk about the 2024 race, obviously presidential race, obviously coming up now that the midterms are over, and it's about
Yep.
to be 2023, which means candidates are going to start jumping in. But real quick, Thomas, I don't know if you guys have known, he worked on John James. He ran for Congress in Michigan and ultimately won. He worked on his campaign. And he met tons of guys. Like we're gonna put his picture with Ted Cruz as the thumbnail. I'm sure you guys have already seen that. And he met met Doug Ducey, the governor of Arizona, and more. So just how was that experience, I guess, Thomas?
I mean, it was a pretty cool experience, getting to meet these people in real life. You see them on TV and all that. And our team with John James, I have to thank Colin and Russell Cleary. They were great field directors for his campaign. They pushed the volunteers for James campaign everywhere. We were making thousands of calls and a few hundred doors a week, and then we were just getting pushed to that goal, and they got it, and that's how we won. Despite having
Awesome.
a bad election for Michigan, we were able to pull it off.
Yeah, you showed me that picture of the district where they voted for Whitmer, but John James still won. So
Yeah,
that's
there's a
pretty
12
cool.
point difference there.
That's crazy. Yeah. Great run campaign for John James and definitely something good to have on your record. But let's talk a little bit about 2024 then. So obviously Biden, let's talk about the Democrat side first. So do you think Biden's going to run for re-election?
Probably, yeah, because it's usually you have an incumbent advantage if you run for re-election. That is one of the keys to the White House on Alan Lichtman's 13 keys.
Yeah, and I don't know. These guys 82 years old, they're still running it. They just want power. They wield power, they love power, and they want to hold on to it for as long as they can. But what about the Republican side? Do you see it being just a Trump DeSantis clash, or who else is going to jump in?
It's probably likely going to be Hutchinson. He's been talking about running. Probably Mike Pence is going to run at some point. Nikki Haley. There's going to be a lot of Republicans who are going to run. They're going to run either some slow campaigns, only get like 1 or 2% of the vote, then they're going to drop out. You're going to probably see a good amount of people in the debate trying to take down Trump. And if DeSantis ultimately runs, it might slow down the field a little bit, but we're not going to see some major dropouts until maybe after the debates or before Super Tuesday. So DeSantis could get the establishment support to vote Trump out and then get the nomination.
I definitely think there's going to be that one, kind of like John Kasich in 2016. You got to look at who just stayed in way too long for no reason at all. I think there's going to be that establishment guy, whether it be a Larry Hogan, like you said, whether it be an Asa Hutchinson, who's going to stay in a long time and try to fight Trump. But it's going to be interesting because they, like you said, they might only pull at 1-2%. It's going to be irrelevant anyways. What about DeSantis though? Is this actually the momentum's building? It's clearly there. He just had a 20-point victory in what was supposedly a swing state. Is this going to happen, or is this all?
I mean, you have all these hedge funders that are willing to support his campaign. Ken Griffin, who's been paying the Republicans millions of dollars for their campaigns. He paid so much money in Illinois for Bruce Rauner and then Richard Irvin, who failed in the Republican primary. He's been one of the Republicans' biggest hedge funders, and he's been saying he's going to pledge his support for Ron DeSantis. Most of the establishment and then the Republicans who just want to move on from Trump want DeSantis because he has that appeal to the Hispanic support, which was big in Florida. He won Miami-Dade, Palm Beach, Tampa Bay, Duval County, which is Jacksonville. He won a lot of these counties that no one would have thought the Republicans would have won in and
If Go ahead. Yeah.
he's ultimately like he's a normal Republican. Like he does have some like he was of course, endorsed by Trump both times. Obviously Trump gave him a hard time in 2022 for some freaking reason. But ultimately he's probably the best option to unite for the suburbanites, the rural areas, than independents.
If Trump and Biden rematch again today, in 2024, who do you think would come out on top if they had the rematch?
If it was today, I would have to give it to Biden. Of course, the inflation has been slowing down quite a bit, along with the gas
Gas
prices.
prices lower. Yep.
But at the same, and then Trump his popularity right now is just in the toilet. His credibility
Definitely.
isn't got. Then You have to
Yeah,
also think his poll ratings
he's
plummeted.
pulling out like 30 something percent, and it's not a presidential poll, it's an unfavorability, so maybe that's a little different, but still that
Right.
it's bad right now. But let's open this up to open discussion. Jake, you got anything you want to jump in with?
Thomas, I just wanted to ask you, do you see like a Tim Scott from South Carolina running for president, maybe?
Um, Tim Scott, no, personally, I don't think he's going to run, but he might like they might ask him like maybe be his vice president or something. I feel like the Ron DeSantis would, if he were to be the nominee, we would need to pick like a woman, to be honest, to counter Kamala.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
right. It's
Yeah.
sad because sometimes with the vice president, you look at them with tokens. Like Tim Scott would be a token. Let's just keep it real. He would be I think Scott has strong policies. I think he can criticize when he needs to, and a lot of his policies are rock solid. If you look at him, but it's sad because some people will ultimately look at him as a token. But you're not wrong. You're not wrong. All right, Thomas. Well, it was nice having you on. Make sure to come back as this race heats up. All right.
All right, bye.